It's been 84 years.
Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel, Black Woman Fly. This is Jaleisha Jones. If you don't know me, if this is your first time, just so you're aware, I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, I'm a poet, and I just share my truth. Where I am currently, I'm just sharing all of my truth from this moment to the past, everything, because that's just who I am. You're going to get all of me. And if that resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe. If you are part of Tribe, if you're part of the community, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful for you. I'm just grateful, y'all. I'm really, really grateful for it all. Now, let's get into this topic because you see the title. Yes, it's true. I'm 37 years old and I've never been in a relationship. And I wanted to talk about this because there's this article from British Vogue that is going viral and it's entitled Is Having a Boyfriend Actually Embarrassing Now? And pretty much it ties into my experience of being 37 years old. Now, when somebody hears that you're single, they're like, "Nah, you've been in one relationship. Now you're 37 years old. You've been in relationships. I have never been in a relationship. The one time you might include was a 6 month stint with somebody that I thought I was in a relationship with my 20s, but I really was in a situationship with a married man. I did not know the man was married. So we don't count that. But other than that, I have not been in any relationship with a man. And now I am okay with that. Or I'm okay with the fact that I may never get in a relationship with a man. Now, if you read the article, and I'll put the article in the description box, it's pretty much saying how it's no longer becoming cool for women to claim to have boyfriends, or that if you have a boyfriend online, people are trying to hide their men, or if they show that they're actually in a relationship, they lose followers. It's almost kind of like people don't want, they want to disengage with them. And I read this not as a space of like, oh, it's not cool to have a boyfriend. I read this in a space that the men, the dating world is not great right now. And so there's a lot of probably jealousy or people who are not having a great experiences of their own with men. And so why do they want to see other people be happy? Or why do they want to partake in those things when they would rather indulge in singleness because the men are not stepping up or the dating pool is trash? That's how I interpret it. And I can understand it because in my 20s, I was a pick me, okay, because low self esteem and low self worth and body dysmorphia and wanting a man to choose me so badly. And so I spent the majority of my 20s dealing with emotionally unavailable men, and I morphed myself and did everything for men. They still didn't pick me, they still didn't choose me, they just discarded me. And in 2018, 2019, I had like this awakening of like, girl, the men ain't the problem. It's you. It's you. You the problem because it's consistently every time you deal with a man, you getting hurt. So maybe we need to look at ourselves. So I went through a spiritual awakening and I realized I need to start working on my childhood wounds, my trauma, and I need to start loving myself and admitting that I am imperfect and that I have chosen these men and I have allowed these men to cause harm to me because I felt that I was not worthy of having more. And so there was a self-love journey I went through my late 20s to my early 30s. And so when I went into my early 30s, I really came into the realization I do desire love. I do desire commitment. I do desire long-term partnership. I'm worthy of those things. Well, I had the belief that I was worthy, but I don't know if I actually moved in that because I was manifesting or calling or praying for a man that would be my long-term partner. And then I met someone who I had this incredible connection with, who I believed was like my divine man, who I believed was my partner, but he was not on my level emotionally, maturity wise. He was just not there. And the old me started coming up, my old wounds of wanting to stay in something I probably shouldn't stay in, wanting to try to help someone or fix someone or try to, see the potential in somebody instead of seeing them for who they were and deciding if that's going to be for me or not. And the boundaries that I had instilled in myself, they kind of withered away because the connection was just amazing. The sexual connection was amazing. I'm gonna keep it real. And I had never felt this way, like body, soul wise, towards someone. And I had been craving this type of connection, but emotionally could not meet me, mentally could not meet me, maturity wise could not meet me. And he was not emotionally available. And I was just retreating back into old habits, trying to have this person. And I lost a lot of self-respect within myself. I had shame, I had guilt, and I did a lot of things I wish, not that I regret it now, but I did a lot of things that I thought I had evolved from. And I allowed it to happen thinking I was going to get chosen at the end of the day. And I still didn't. And back in 2021, I didn't have a breakdown, but my uncle, my dad's twin, passed away. And I was trying to be with this man. And this man appeared that he wanted to be with me, but he had already gotten a relationship with someone else. And he made it seem like I was the problem, that I was the issue, that he was gaslighting me. And he just made it seem like I was such a damaged, horrible person. And when you love someone or you think you're in love with someone and they turn all your insecurities onto you, or the things that you really fear, that you're not worthy enough, that something's wrong with you, when they flip that on its head, it's crushing. And so that crushed me, because then I'm starting thinking, why not me? Why you didn't choose me? Why am I not good enough? Why am I not worthy? And that spiraled into a whole year and a half of me working on myself, thinking I gotta heal daddy issues, thinking I gotta do more self work. Or why am I choosing this for myself? And as I'm going through this, I'm writing. I wrote a book called Fuck Shame, Embrace Love. And by the end of that year and a half, the funny thing is that man reached out to me, acting like nothing happened, acting like, hey, what's up? And at that point I was healing, right? And so before I would have ran, I would have like, oh, I need that. And I realized that we all are hurting in some way. And for him, he was hurting a lot of different ways. And he was acting out of that hurt. But I could see it now. I had empathy for him. I had forgiven him, and I had forgiven myself. The shame had been released. But did I text back? No. I wrote a book and I released that instead. Okay. And I'll put that in the description box, because I wrote a book and I released him. And that book freed me. It freed me in a lot of different ways. But on that journey of healing, I still wanted the relationship. And the crushing part of it was that I wanted so bad for him to be that person, and he wasn't. And I could not accept that he was not that person. That when real men would come into my life, like when I say real men, they were men who were emotionally mature, emotionally available, but I didn't feel that spark. I didn't feel that chemistry. I didn't feel that sexual, from the jump. I was like, oh no, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. Like the men that were wanting to do a slow burn, that wanted to court me, which I said I wanted, when they would come into my life, no, this is weird. This is off. This is, mm-mm. And so a couple years have gone by where I realized, oh, you're still the problem. You're still the problem. But the outside world is also a problem, because you have the incel culture rising, you have red pill, you have so many men who are emotionally immature with podcast mics in front of them, who are just spewing out a whole bunch of BS, and women are listening to them, and other men are listening to them, thinking of how you're supposed to be masculine, and people thinking masculinity is being dominant and controlling and disrespectful to women, and not providing a safe space for women. When you have a culture that is like deeply, deeply embedded in toxicity, it's not comfortable to date. It's not comfortable to be out here. A couple weeks ago, I was driving, and I'm just driving, and I'm sitting at the light. This man next to me was trying to say something to me. I rolled down the window and he said, "You're beautiful." I'm like, "Thank you." And then he immediately followed it up with saying, "You have nice tits. I would like to sit in those tits." I just thought, this is why dating is a mess. This is why women don't want to claim men. This is why women have issues with men. But I still desire love. I still do. Last year I went on a retreat, and I had took shrooms for the first time. And I was in denial about me wanting to be in love at this point, because I was isolating. But I took shrooms for the first time, and shrooms, if you don't know, it's a psychedelic. And pretty much what I was not trying to face came up. And for the first time, I was allowing myself to grieve. And I grieved the fact that my life had not turned out the way I thought it was. Because I thought I'd be married by now. I thought I would have children. That's partly why I got the house that I have. If you guys been following my videos, I thought I would have a certain lifestyle by now. And at 37, or at that time 36, it has not come to reality. And that's heartbreaking when you have these dreams, or you're idealist, or you're romantic, and your dreams do not match your reality. And so for the first time I grieved. I cried, I screamed, I was in pain. I finally just admitted that I was sad. I was deeply, deeply sad. But I also was able to release it at the same time. And I haven't wanted to date for 2 or 3 years. And now I'm okay with dating. Like, I would desire that. But I also know, because of what I've been through and all the things I've gone through, that someone has to meet me at my level or exceed my level for me to even entertain them. Like, I'm not going to be on these articles saying I'm ashamed to have a boyfriend. No, I want me a man, but he got to be a healthy man. He got to be a divine masculine man. He has to be emotionally mature. He has to be like a nurturing, compassionate man. He has to be evolved, a grown ass man. Before, I ran from stability, security, slow burn, courtship. Now that is all I require. You would have to come big. You have to come big, because my discernment, this eye up here, my intuition is on key. It's on point. So I can read. I can read a man. I know what these men are about. And I know when a grown man is in my presence. Okay. It's a different aura. It's a different energy. It's a different intentionality. But if that is not coming to my life, I'm going to live regardless. I'm going to, as currently, like I'm doing, selling my house, deciding I want to travel, deciding I want to write more, finishing my book, finding a book agent. I'm still going to live. I have spent the last probably 7 years of after my spiritual awakening, hoping and wishing I will meet my man, hoping and wishing that I could cross paths with him, or that a man will finally be with me, or that a man, I would have that husband and those kids. I gotta release that. That's not what's happening currently. I gotta deal with what's happening in front of me. And what's happening in front of me is that it's time for me to choose me. It's time for me to choose me. And so if I don't have a man, I'll probably grieve about that someday again. I'll probably like, dang, I wish I had me a little love buddy. I wish I had a best friend. That's okay to admit those things. That's okay. But I'd rather be single than to lower my standards, lower my self-worth, and compromise. There's no compromising. I've done that before. I've done it continuously, and it has caused me great, great pain. And so at 37 years old, 3 years from 40, someone who's never been in a relationship, I will continue not being in a relationship until a man that's magnificent, extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary, comes to enhance my life on every level. Woo, that sounds good to say out loud. That sounds good to say out loud. And I think that ties back to the article. So many women are going through so much pain because a lot of these men are not leveling up. A lot of these men are not meeting these women at where they're at. But the only way men are going to rise up is if women realize that they're worthy of more. You have to stop compromising. You have to stop settling. You have to stop entertaining these men who ain't about nothing. Then you will be proud. You will feel so proud to deal with somebody that meets you on every level, that respects you and honor you. And you want to show him. You'll want to preserve that. You'll be proud of that. You will love that. You will cherish that. And so when I read that article, I just feel like so many women are hurting, and either they're jealous or spiteful, or they're just disappointed with the dating scene. They're disappointed with men in general. So let's shame men. And we should shame them so that the real men can rise up, or that the men that's being shamed, they can get their life together, go to a retreat, go healing, get some ayahuasca, do some deep prayer, do some dark shadow of the night, like dark night of the soul. Like, you need to do something pulling that spirit up out of you. Like, we should be shaming them. We should be shaming them. We should be shaming them so that they can get their life together. But I'm okay with being single today, and I'm okay with being without. I'm gonna live my life regardless. I am good with that. I worked too hard, too hard for my sanity, for my peace of mind, for just loving me, that I just won't. But I say all that to say, that's where I'm at. I'm 37 and I'll stay single. And let me know in the comments, anybody that's been single, anybody that's healing, anybody that's tired of, settling and that's ready to prioritize themselves. Please let me know your experience. Have you read the article? Let's talk about it. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.